Hey guys, so I'm sure you've heard of this if you're someone who came from the Bandcamp era of music distribution and selling your artwork on Bandcamp. But there's this cooperative company called Subvert FM that you could sign up for, and I think you still can, to become an early founder of this cooperative, this collectively owned, artist-owned Bandcamp Successor. And here's my little certificate of membership for Subvert. So I wanted to just go through the magazine and just do my first thoughts and kind of collect my thoughts together about it, because I plan on putting all my music from Bandcamp onto Subvert and moving onto them as soon as I get access. So just recently, Subvert launched their platform to the first 890 something members, like labels, artists, and supporters. You could sign up to be a supporter for $120, I think, Australian, or sign up for free as an artist, and that would make you a shareholder or a share owner in this LLC. But this is the magazine. I won't go through all of it today because it's huge. But yeah, we'll see what it says at the start here. A collectively owned Bandcamp Successor. In March 2022, Bandcamp shook the independent music world when it announced that its founders had sold the company to Epic Games, the makers of Fortnite, leaving the fate of the platform and that of hundreds of thousands of musicians who had come to rely on it up in the air. A year and a half later, Bandcamp was sold again, this time to music licensing company Songtradr. Following the sale, Songtradr laid off half of Bandcamp's staff, including most of the union's bargaining team. It was the second time that the company had changed hands in just 18 months, creating even more uncertainty and anxiety. Yeah, Bandcamp has been not only failing its users, but also failing itself, because I don't know, for instance, the way on Bandcamp, just little nitpicky things, like if I type vinyl records into the search bar, I don't get a bunch of vinyl records come up, I get a bunch of artist named vinyl records. And now I don't think you can pay with PayPal anymore on Bandcamp or something, or they've got some kind of different payment method to come through when you want to buy someone's music. And then yes, there's all sorts of stuff that's really annoying about it. Bandcamp's acquisition left musicians and music workers with a familiar feeling of betrayal and concern. How did this happen? Wasn't Bandcamp supposed to be the good guy? To many, Bandcamp had been the last bastion of independence in a recorded music landscape that had long ago left underground and emergent artists behind. Now it had become another corporate asset tied to the streaming giants it once marketed itself against. The news felt like yet another example of a platform positioning itself as an artist-friendly alternative, only to abandon its core values and community. and it was especially disappointing given Bandcamp's positioning as the last true independent alternative in a streaming-dominated landscape. I'm going to flick through the book. About this document. Welcome to the plan for the artist-owned internet. This is a document that serves as a business plan, manifesto, and blueprint for redefining the relationship between artists and platforms. This publication outlines the development of Subvert, an online marketplace for musicians to sell music and merch to their supporters. However, this document is more than an outline of a business venture. It's a call to imagination. What's possible when we prioritize artists' interests over those of finance capital? For too long, online infrastructure has catered to the interests of founders and investors rather than the needs of artists or workers. Subvert aims to address this problem from its foundation, ownership. This document is an invitation to join us on this journey. By becoming a co-op member, you're now an integral part of this shared effort. We're moving beyond critiquing the present to proposing a new, more imaginative future. We're navigating uncharted territory here. The concept of collectively owned web platforms is largely unexplored, which makes this project full of unknown challenges. We're pushing the boundaries of legal structures, business logic, and organizational models to create something truly innovative. The ideas presented here are ambitious, but they're grounded in years of research, planning, and experience. We believe they're not just achievable, but necessary. Artists and culture workers often shy away from conversations about money. When it comes to subjects like stock classes, corporate governance, legal entities, or organizational frameworks, we may lack the vocabulary to engage meaningfully. Discussions about money and business models can be uncomfortable, especially in creative circles. However, if we want to change systems, we have to demystify them first. The road ahead will be challenging, but if we're successful, the impact on culture, technology, and business at large could be significant. Together we have the opportunity to push a new way of doing business and a new era of shared ownership and control. So it's a wonderful thing what Subvert seems to do here. And I believe the next bunch of founding members are getting access any day now, while the first 800 and something people get the platform, make sure it's all working, make sure it's really good and on their end and everything's working. And then it'll open to the rest of us and then to the public, I think, towards the end of the year or early next year. And I plan on selling some merch on there, like this new album, A New Cycle, and bye.